the Ukrainian capital, by Yuriy Sak, who's an advisor in the Defence Ministry there. Mr. Sak, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, James.
Can you tell us what happened at the bridge?
As we all have seen by now, there was an explosion on the Kerch Bridge, as a result of which, some parts of the bridge fell into the sea, and there was also damage to the rail part of the bridge. And, this is what happened.
Was it a successful military operation on your part?
This bridge, I would just like to stress that this bridge, of course, has been used by the aggressor since the very beginning of this large-scale invasion to provide ammunition, to provide heavy military equipment to the southern units of the Russian army. Plus, this bridge is a very symbolic milestone for the Russians, because it's a symbol of their occupation, since the annexation of.
But what you're saying clearly is that you regard it as a proper military target.
Well, we have said this from the very start, that Crimea is part of Ukraine's internationally recognized territory. But when we want to understand what really happened, we have to just look. This was a Russian driver driving a Russian truck, which came from the Russian territory. So if we are looking for answers, we need to perhaps be asking the Russian authorities. They've been claiming that this bridge is under super efficient protection. So considering that, all the answers should be probably there. And if you look at what was happening, according to our defense intelligence yesterday in Moscow, arrests of the Russian military, putting the elite special forces around Moscow on high military alert. I mean, there's something happening there, and we just have to wait and see what is really going on.
What do you think is happening in Moscow? Do you take seriously? I mean, these moments of mobilization of special forces happen from time to time. There are signs of panic or increased security. Do you have any reason to believe that what is happening in Moscow at the moment is different in scale from some of the things we've seen before?
It's difficult to say what exactly is happening in Moscow, but we can definitely say with certainty that whatever is happening, it is caused by their setbacks on the battlefield, by their inability to achieve any of the goals that they've set for themselves for this aggressive war. Ukrainian army is advancing in the south of Ukraine. Ukrainian army is efficiently advancing in other parts of the front line. Just, within the since the beginning of October, we have been able to regain control of our 1,170 square kilometers just in Kherson region, right? So these are tens of villages.
Yeah. One last one, Mr. Sak, thanks very much for joining us to talk about this. I just want to ask you, as far as Crimea is concerned, Russian forces annexed it, of course, in 2014. And at the beginning of the war, it was thought that it would remain when everything was over in Russian hands, in all probability. Do you think that expectation has now changed?
I cannot read the minds of the Russian leadership, but I can listen to what our political and military leadership keeps saying regularly, right? So we will restore our territorial integrity, and that includes, of course, Crimea.
Yuriy Sak in Kyiv, thank you for joining us.